How I got on in double game week 34 and my team selection for game week 35. Let's get into it. Good day, mate. I'm FPL Roo. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another FPL video. So in today's video, we're going to be looking back at double game week 34, just quickly, and then looking forward to game week 35, discussing captain and transfers. We'll start off with the game week 34 team though. So David Raya ended up with 2 points. I was originally disappointed as this was before the City game, but Ederson didn't get a clean sheet in his first game of the game week, which was against Fulham away, and then he was benched for the second game week. So happy days. I would have probably taken a -4 to get in Ederson, maybe even as part of a bigger -8. So I've really dodged a bullet with that one. Defense, probably best part of the team, and could have been better. Trent ended up getting an assist against Spurs. He did concede 3 goals though. And then a clean sheet and a bonus point against Fulham. So yeah, really happy with Trent. Estupiñán finally delivered, got that assist and clean sheet against Wolves in the 6-0 win for Brighton. And then a clean sheet and a bonus against Man United in the second double game week. So yeah, really happy with Estupiñán. And shout out to those that did have the double Brighton defence. I've seen the people with Estupiñán and Dunk. So fair play to you. Luke Shaw was a disappointing one. He did get the clean sheet and a bonus in the first game, and he was so close to getting a clean sheet and a bonus in the second game, but he decided to put his hand above his head, give away a penalty, and Brighton won the game 1-0 with McAllister, a player that I don't own, scoring a penalty. So really disappointed with that game. Just to add on to that, March and Matoma blanked in both games. March played 55 minutes in the first game, so he ended up with 1 point, and 27 in the second game and 1 point. Matoma 34 in the first game and 90 in the second game, so he did get the clean sheet point, but there's nothing to write home about. Jack Grealish ended up getting 1 point in the first game against Fulham, and an assist and a clean sheet in the second game. 5 goals, only an assist. Probably a little bit disappointed if I was being harsh, but his price, you don't really expect goals every game, but I did expect 1 goal over this double game week. So yeah, Jack Grealish needs to be doing better. We'll talk more about him later on in the video though. Rashford only ended up getting 1 assist too in the first double game week game. Again, another disappointment. Fernandez did really, really well in the first game week, got a goal, got the clean sheet, and got 3 bonus. I was really, really hoping for him to do well against Brighton, as he was only like 16% owned around the teams around me in the ranks. So yeah, really disappointed with Fernandez. Haaland ended up, well, it doesn't really mean anything as he was over 200% owned, which means there's basically people that triple captain him, and any score that he does get is going to decrease your rank. I'm pretty sure that was everyone that played the game would have had that. So he did get a goal and 2 bonus in the first game, and the same in the second game. Diogo Jota, massive disappointment. Pretty lucky to get 5 points out of him, to be honest. Goal scored, yellow card in the first game, only played 27 minutes, and only played 7 minutes in the second game as he did have an injury, and he is flagged. So definitely someone that I regret bringing in, I'd say. However, the Salah move would have cost me 8 points, and I would have taken out Fernandez probably. So yeah, it wouldn't have been worth it. If I could have taken out Grealish, but I was priced out to do Grealish, Isaac, Greenwood, and Trent. Couldn't afford that, so that wasn't really an option. And then Robertson got benched, so I couldn't downgrade Trent anyway to make up that money. So in the end, I would have liked to get Salah, but it just the funds never let me get it. In terms of rank, so I did get a red arrow about 700, so it's not the end of the world. Doesn't really count as a red arrow, I'd say. More like a horizontal arrow, if that's a thing. So 145k ranked, I'm hoping to get into the top 100k. I've only finished outside the top 100k once, which was last season. So hopefully we get a big couple game weeks. Hopefully the Newcastle boys can pull in a couple clean sheets and yeah, we can get in the top 100k. But now let's move on to game week 35. A game week where I feel like we're all waiting, but we'll discuss that in the next part of the video. Let's get into it. So we'll start off with the goalkeeper. I have decided to go for Kepa this game week rather than David Raya. So although Kepa, sorry, I was just laughing at Chelsea. Although Kepa has been involved in a team that has lost 5 of the last 6 games, I just don't fancy Brentford to keep a clean sheet at Anfield. If it was at Brentford Stadium, I think it's called the Community Stadium, then maybe I'd probably play Raya, but Bournemouth away, Kepa loves save points. Who knows? Chelsea could turn up, get a 0-0. Bournemouth are probably safe now and might be on the beat. So, yeah, clutching at straws here, hoping for a Chelsea clean sheet. But if we can get a few save points and end up on 3-4 points, I'll definitely take that. Trent is also in the team, so really happy with him for this game week. Managed to get me 11 points in the double game week, as I've mentioned in the video. His expected goal involvement was 0.34, so pretty good in terms of a defender slash midfielder. His new position at the moment. Liverpool at home are just completely different to away from home. Although they have won two away games, their last two away games at home, they're just really, really solid and keep quite a few clean sheets. So I'm hoping for a clean sheet in this one, and I'm hoping for Trent attacking goal involvement too. Estupiñán with Everton at home, probably one of the best fixtures you can hope for at the moment. Again, really done really well in the double game week, 2 clean sheets. I'm expecting another one, and just like Trent, I'm hoping for an attacking return. In terms of expected goal involvement, it wasn't great against Man United. It's a 0.04, but against Wolves it was 0.06. So hopefully he can kind of re-perform his Wolves performance, and even in that game he should have scored. I know he did get an assist, but he should have scored at least 1 goal. He had 2-3 chances where he probably should have put 1, probably 2 away, but 1 definitely. So this is a difficult position. So Shaw or Trippier. I have gone for Shaw. I'm not sure if I'll keep it like that. No pun intended. But if he did keep a clean sheet, if he didn't stick his arm above his head like an idiot in the game against Brighton, then he would have been on for 9 points, and that would have been a 16-point double game week. Although Man United are shocking away from home. I saw a stat the other day against the top 9 teams in the league that they haven't won. So they've drawn 1 against Spurs away and then lost all the others against Newcastle away, Liverpool away, Arsenal away, Villa away, Man City away, Brentford away, Brighton away. So their away form is pretty bad, but West Ham are not in the top 9, and they do have a Conference League semi-final on midweek. So I'm hoping David Moyes might rest a few players. They're probably safe, and Man United can go there and keep a clean sheet. Trippier, there is an argument to play Trippier. He is more attacking than Shaw currently, as Shaw is playing centre back. But Newcastle have just been shocking in terms of clean sheets recently, and Trippier hasn't got an assist since game week 29. So that doesn't fill me with confidence. Although, having said that, his expected assists against Southampton in the game week 34 was 1.13. So that them numbers do look good. But for me, Arsenal, one of the best teams in the league. I do fancy them to score there. And you're just kind of relying on a attack and return. For me, I'd rather go for the clean sheet than the attack and return. So that's why I've gone for Shaw. Trippier might end up still being in my starting 11 somehow, as I'm expecting some rotation. But we'll get onto that in the midfield and forwards. So we'll start off in the midfield talking about the two Brighton midfielders. So we'll start off with Matoma. He's blanked in 5 of his last 5, so he hasn't returned since game week 29, which is a little bit worrying. But having said that, for his price, 5.6 million, you kind of got to take it. You can't really moan. His expected goals did look pretty good against Man United, so 0.69, and his goal involvements was 0.74, so that's pretty good. It's just with Matoma, I love him as a player. I love watching him. But it's going to feel weird saying this, but I just don't think he's clinical enough. If he was just that little bit more clinical, more just kind of decisive, goes for goal a bit more, then he'd be unreal. He'd be 11 million. But I guess this is why he is 12 million. I mean, 5.6 million is because of that. If only he could just be that bit more decisive, he could get monster hauls every week. Having said that, I am expected big points from him against Everton. Same with Solly March. So he played 55 and then 27 minutes in a double game week. So he hasn't even played 90 minutes. So he should be fresh. His stats and data don't look as good as Matoma's. So 0.18 against Man United, but obviously he's played 27 minutes. But in the 6-0, he played 55 minutes and it was 0.08 goal involvements expected. So not the best. However, unlike Matoma, he has delivered 3 assists in the last 5. So hopefully he can do that again. Really, from these two boys, I just need one attack and return. A goal maybe or an assist, a goal from one, an assist from the other. They're like at the moment they're just not really doing the business, especially Matoma, which is worrying me a little bit, as I'm probably going to keep him for the rest of the season. But for that price, I can't see anyone else with a better fixture run and with as many fixtures as they do have, as Brighton do double in 36 and 37. Grealish is another player that I'm starting. So he did get assist against West Ham. Having watched Grealish with like the eye test, as people say, he is one of Man City's best players at the moment, apart from Haaland. Everything just goes through him, which sounds great, but he might be the assist before the assist. That's the only thing I'm worried about. His expected goal involvements was over 1, which he did get one. He got a 1 assist. 0.46 as well against Fulham, which is not bad. Against Arsenal, it was really low, 0.09. Leicester was 0.14. Southampton 0.76. Liverpool 1.11. I am expecting Grealish to get rested in this game. Foden's back now. Mahrez is looking good. Alvarez is looking good. And Man City have that Champions League semi-final midweek against Real Madrid. Grealish is one of their most important players, as I've mentioned, at the moment. So I can see them resting him for this. Hopefully, if he does get rested, he misses out completely. But we'll just have to keep an eye for any early team news. So I will be retweeting that if it does come up and I'm awake, because the deadline's middle of the night for me in Australia, but I'm probably going to be awake. So I will be retweeting that. So definitely just go to my Twitter and give me a follow. Rashford and Fernandes, both United assets. I am my team too. So West Ham away, I'd say not the easiest. Arsenal failed to win there recently. City thrashed them 3-0. So, but Man United's away form, as I've mentioned, is really bad. However, Rashford has been doing okay. He's got 3 returns in his last 3. And his expected goal involvements are sitting around average 0.5. So not the best, but not the worst. I feel like everyone has Rashford, so He doesn't really do much for your ranks. Fernandez, on the other hand, is a massive differential. It's actually only owned by 7.4% of teams, which is unbelievable. In terms of teams around me, it was actually 16% for a double game week. So if he got that goal or did something against Brighton, my rank would have shot up. His stats do look really, really good though. So even against Brighton and Villa, average about 0.5, against Spurs 1.21 goal involvements, 0.66 against Forest, 0.75 against Everton. So I'm expecting Fernandez to do well, and hopefully he can pop up with a penalty too. We'll move on to the forwards now, where again we're going to have to wait for some team news, but yeah, let's get into it. So I have gone for Ollie Watkins over Diogo Jota. So Klopp said Jota is injured again. He's got a back injury. He could start. I doubt it though. He failed to start both games in a double game week, as I mentioned in the previous part of the video. I feel like they won't risk him with the amount of options they've got. I don't feel like they're going to be trying to rush back Jota too much. So he did train yesterday, but it just was a light training because he's struggling with his back/rib injury. So that's the reason I have gone for Watkins. So with Wolves away, Villa, Watkins in terms of goals or assists hasn't delivered in the last 3 games, but there have been pretty tough games. So Brentford away, Fulham at home, okay, Man United away. So although Watkins does do well away from home, he's got goals against Leicester away, Chelsea away, West Ham away, Everton away, City away. So Southampton away, Spurs away, he got an assist as well. So he's really, really good away from home. I think that's just because of his pace, being that last man, kind of almost playing on a counter away from home. And this is a derby game too, so it is a West Midlands derby against Wolves. So Wolves are going to want to show some more spirit after being thrashed by Brighton. And I feel like Villa are probably the worst team, or the best team, you could say, to play on the counter attack, just to pick off Wolves nice and slow. And I can see another 3-0, 3-1 in this game, and hopefully Watkins can be amongst the goals. Haaland is the captain, with Ollie Watkins vice captain, so don't really need to say much about Haaland. We just, however, have to wait for team news. As there's no early kickoff, all kickoffs are going to be the 3 p.m. UK time kickoffs, and City is one of them. So it's Bournemouth, Chelsea, City, Leeds, Spurs, Palace, Wolves, and Villa. So if we do get some early team news that Haaland is not starting, then I'll probably just switch my captain to Ollie Watkins, and then Rashford vice captain. If Grealish and Haaland not starting, then I might look to do Jota to Alvarez and captain Alvarez. But it will just all depend on the team news. If Grealish, Haaland, and Alvarez are not starting, I'm not sure what I'll do. I probably wouldn't swap Grealish to Mahrez or Foden. But if they're not started, surely Alvarez has got to be starting. So just to recap, if Haaland is not starting, I'll do Jota to Alvarez. If Grealish is not starting, I'll do Jota to Alvarez too, and then play Alvarez. I obviously won't captain him if Haaland's starting still though. But yeah, we'll have to wait for team news. It is annoying that I've got Jota. I know a lot of people will be captaining Salah if Haaland isn't starting, so that could do some big damage to my rank. I'm just hoping Brentford, they are a bit more solid than Fulham, who, well, Salah only scored 2 penalties. It's not like they've ripped him apart, but I guess that's why you bring in players like Salah, because they can score penalties, and they are on penalties. So fingers crossed Salah blanks, and we get some early team news where I can bring in Alvarez if he is starting. I have the luxury. I know a lot of other people out there don't want to do the Alvarez move, as they'll have to bring him back out for a Newcastle forward. But for me, I have the luxury of having Watkins and Jota, so I can sacrifice one of them spots. I can go. I don't really want either of them for game week 36, although Jota could be good against Leicester away. I'm just not too confident with his injury. Ollie Watkins has Spurs at home, although I probably do fancy Villa to win that game. I'd much rather have a double game week player. So because I have Watkins and Jota to kind of sacrifice almost, I'm more than comfortable to make that Alvarez move if he does start. If he doesn't start, then I'm happy to keep the two transfers and then go Isaac or Wilson in game week 36. If you have liked this video, please make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. I'm trying to hit 600 subscribers before the season ends. So tell your mate, tell your cousin, tell your mum, tell your dad, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below who are you captaining and who are your transfers. Have a good game week.